Excellent. Wonderful control. Thank you. My voice teachers have always told me I'm a natural. That's awesome. With a little hard work, we can do a lot to improve that natural talent. I mean, listen to me. Listen to what I could do. I'm a fraud. I'm sorry, but I need to quit my lessons. You don't have to quit. Every vocalist has their weaknesses. That's what vocal coaching is for. But you heard me. My voice cracked. Those parts you're feeling bad about, they're fixable issues. You just have to be willing to keep trying and growing. I want to continue to grow. Hey, that's what I'm here for. In Mindset, author Carol S. Dweck talks about the power of our beliefs, how they influence the way we learn, and how that influence guides the entire trajectory of our lives. In this video, we'll discuss the two main mindsets you can develop in your childhood, and how to use one of them to reach your highest potential. Who doesn't want that? For more great book summary videos, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button. If you find this video helpful, click the like button and let us know what you think. So, to keep it simple, Dweck identifies two main mindsets you can pick up from your upbringing. It's possible to end up with a mix of both, but often one becomes more prominent and powerful than the other. The one you develop most depends on what you learned from your environment when you were growing up. The first potential mindset is a fixed mindset. With this mindset, you see skill or intelligence as set in stone. You see it as something that isn't malleable. As a result, you may feel the need to constantly prove yourself and your abilities to others, just to reassure yourself that you are inherently good enough. Makes me want to give you a hug, I'm sorry. You may shy away from challenges or fear mistakes. The other possible mindset is a growth mindset. With this mindset, you see everything as improvable. You see existing skills or intelligence level as a jumping off point. As a result, you're more easily able to enjoy learning for learning's sake. And you also may feel more compelled to prove things to yourself rather than to others. Sounds great, right? You embrace both mistakes and challenges, believing they help you to grow. According to Dweck, your mindset shapes your whole entire personality. It shapes the way you relate to yourself, how you relate to the world, and how you move through the world. Which means it could either help you reach your highest potential, or prevent you from reaching your highest potential. I bet you can guess which one is the ideal mindset already, but I'll tell you anyway. You are much more likely to find success and fulfillment in your own life if you have a growth mindset. Each mindset defines success differently. In the world of a fixed mindset, success is about validation from the external world. It's about proving to others that you're smart or talented. Because of this, any mistake, any setback is considered a failure. Whether it's something as small as an average grade on a test, or as large as losing out on a major job promotion, the fixed mindset sees the same level of failure. This is really insidious because when you fail, you'll feel like you're not good enough. Over time, this makes you want to avoid failure. And, in the worst case scenario, avoid doing anything that risks failure. You stay in your comfort zone, which keeps you from ever reaching your full potential. Alternatively, the growth mindset defines success very differently. In the growth mindset world, success is determined by how far you can push yourself to grow and how much you improve over time. More than anything else, it's about learning. So in this context, you only fail when you refuse to take opportunities to learn, choose not to push yourself to be better, or give up on reaching your full potential. You may think these mindsets only affect your academic pursuits or your work life, but they actually affect everything you do. Here are just two examples. Example number 1. Your mindset affects your relationships. With a fixed mindset, your relationships will also feel fixed. You may feel like any flaws in either partner are innate or inflexible, which means problems that arise may feel unchangeable. You may feel like the success of your relationship is ultimately out of your hands, either doomed or meant to be. You may also have unrealistic expectations of your partner, like expecting them to read your mind. In contrast, a growth mindset is beneficial for all relationships. If there are prominent flaws in you or your partner, you're likely to feel you're both capable of improvement. Problems in general are more likely to get treated as opportunities to grow as a couple and get closer. Sounds so nice. Aside from romance, your mindset can also affect the pursuit of your goals. For example, if you're an athlete, who you are as a player is determined by your mindset. Not that I would know. The sports world is already full of fixed mentalities. It's incredibly common to expect a naturally gifted athlete to be successful over a hardworking athlete of average talent. But Dweck actually says that natural talent can be a huge setback if your mind is fixed. Why? Because you believe yourself to already have all the talent and skill you need. So you're less likely to push yourself the way a less gifted athlete would. Or you may simply be afraid of failure, and that keeps you from pushing yourself to grow. Either way, your performance suffers. Athletes with a fixed mindset also tend to struggle with teamwork because they're focused on proving their own talents over focusing on the success of the team. On the other hand, athletes with a growth mindset are teamwork oriented because they believe everyone is capable of growth. They also see their own challenges and failures as opportunities to better themselves as athletes. They're not thrown off by missteps or by others outperforming them. Their success as players is primarily determined by how much they can learn and improve. And this isn't limited to the world of athletics. You can apply these ideas to most competitive environments, or any activities that are performance-based, like singing. Okay, we get it. Growth mindset is better than fixed mindset. I'm on board. But how do you develop a growth mindset and apply it to your life? Let's talk about that next. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my god, I have a fixed mindset, I'm doomed, relax. I promise you can totally kick that fixed mindset to the curb and replace it with a growth mindset. The only thing you need to keep in mind is patience. Changing your belief system is not necessarily a quick and easy process. Your old mindset will want to hold on, so it'll take commitment. But with persistence, you can do it. In this section, we'll talk about some tips for making the switch happen, and walk you through a few real-life examples of applying them. The tips are the following. Tip number 1, accept your fixed mindset. Can I tell you a secret? Everyone has at least a few fixed mindset beliefs. Even Obama. And to some extent, we all struggle with developing a growth mindset. No matter how much progress you make on that journey, there will always be some fixed beliefs lingering. So keep that in mind, accept the reality of it, and do your best to interrupt or prevent the negative impact of those lingering beliefs. Tip number 2, learn what triggers your fixed mindset. We all have something you might call a fixed mindset persona, meaning we all get into a fixed headspace when certain triggers arise. It's key to explore what those triggers are for you. What do you like when you're in a fixed mindset mode? Do you see yourself as superior, inferior? Do you become perfectionistic, self-shaming, judgmental of others? Notice when these things come up. What are the events or situations that put you in this fixed mode? Is it when you're with your parents, when you fail a test, or when you get reprimanded at work? Okay, I'm all 3 of those things. I'm learning so much through this video. It's really fun. Find out as much as you can about the environments or people you're most susceptible to. The only way to interrupt the fixed mindset process is to know your triggers and your persona like the back of your hand. Which brings us to tip number 3. Name your fixed persona. No, I mean literally give it a name. Making your relationship with your persona specific and human makes it easier to notice and interrupt it. So maybe your persona is super judgmental and perfectionistic. You might call it perfectionist Patty. Or maybe you know you're in a fixed mindset when you start to feel superior and act like a know-it-all. You could call this persona Superior Sally or Nancy Know-it-all. And the final tip is by far the most important. You gotta confront your fixed mindset. Naming your persona really comes in handy here, because confronting your fixed mindset will mean having a conversation with it whenever it pops up. Try to talk to it like the 2 of you are friends, or like you're mentoring it. For example, let's say you get into your perfectionist Patty mindset, and you're about to pass up a learning opportunity because you don't want to risk failure. You can remind old Patty that making mistakes is part of the learning process, and every time you bounce back from failure, you grow. Empathy is a very important part of this process. You don't want to treat your persona with anger or disrespect. They're hard enough on themselves as it is. Okay, so with those tips in mind, let's go in depth with a couple real-life examples. I'll start with a personal example. So if you can't tell from the opening sketch, I'm an opera singer. When I was doing my undergraduate degree, most of my energy was consumed by trying to be the best performer, and not always in the good way. It was exhausting to always be competing, and sometimes it was hard to just simply enjoy singing. But I had a semester away back home when I was student teaching. For the first time in years, I was singing only to better myself and my craft. There were no extrinsic motivations. Being away from that environment allowed me to evaluate how I'd been viewing performance at school. It was kind of scary to realize how often I'd been trying to prove myself and my worth as a singer. By the time I'd returned to school for my next semester, my whole mindset had shifted. I was there because I loved singing, not because I needed to be the best. Okay, so now let's get into an example that revolves more around personal relationships. Let's say you're a mother, and your teenager has a weekly chore of taking out the garbage. Lately, they've started needing more and more reminders to take it out, and the last couple of weeks, they've neglected it entirely. You feel disrespected, and as a result, Your fixed mindset persona, judgmental Judy, rears her head. Next time you see your child, you immediately start criticizing their laziness and their lack of respect. When they react poorly, you get angry and start yelling at them. They run to their room and refuse to speak to you again. You realize you took it too far, but you don't know how to address the problem in a better way. What's going on here? Well, in judgmental Judy mode, you have a fixed idea of what respect looks like. And you see your teenage child neglecting their chore as a rude character flaw. You handle your anger at them not meeting your fixed expectation by aiming criticism at them. To get into a less fixed mindset, you gotta start with tip number 1. Recognize that you may be defining respect in a fixed way, and that your expectations of your teenager are fixed as a result. Then, using tip 2, you gotta dive a little deeper and figure out why you're so affected. You feel disrespected, but what's so hurtful about that? Maybe you realize that your child forgetting to follow your rule makes you feel unimportant and dismissed. You already got tip 3 out of the way by giving Judy her name. Oh, Judy. Silly Judy. So, armed with all of this info, you are now in perfect position for tip number 4. Confronting judgmental Judy. Have a conversation with her, and let her know you understand how she feels dismissed and like her rules don't matter. But criticizing her child isn't going to create room for improvement. Remind her how important it is to use these types of incidents as opportunities to grow more as a person. Teach your child important life lessons, and grow closer together. After this conversation, you can work on a game plan for the next time this trigger comes up. Maybe next time your child forgets and you feel Judy rearing up, you can remove yourself from the situation and find someplace quiet to calm down. Then you can journal or have a conversation with your persona if needed, and figure out how best to handle the situation. Maybe after this downtime, you can sit down with your teenager and calmly explain how it feels to you when they forget to do their chore. You might even ask them to help you come up with a solution that feels good to both of you. This is the kind of work you can do with any fixed mindset trigger. And like I said, it's not going to change overnight, but you will see changes over time. So, now you know all about the 2 mindsets and how key it is to develop a growth mindset for a fulfilling life. You've got specific tips for making that switch a reality and some examples of what that process looks like. So, no more excuses, time to get to work. And let us know in the comments where in your life you're applying these ideas. We'd love to cheer you on. This book has lots of great insights into belief systems that we didn't have time to cover in this video. If you're interested in going deeper, check out the Shortform Guide to Mindset. Shortform makes the world's best guides to nonfiction books, complete with well-crafted short exercises to help you learn faster and remember more. You can get a 5-day free trial and a discounted annual subscription if you go to shortform.com/YouTube. Click the link in the description below. And support the author and publisher by buying Mindset. A link to buy the book is below as well. And finally, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss the next Shortform video. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time!